Hello everyone, I'm back talking to you, this time with a little Kerbal Theory. Now this video is still a bit improvised, but I've kind of built the working setup. These videos are going to become more frequent and hopefully better because I'm still learning and still gaining experience in this, but for now I'll just present a fun little theory about Kerbin. Now, if you look at the scale height of Kerbin's atmosphere and compare it to Earth's atmosphere, and the surface gravity of Kerbin is, supposing that the units of measurement used in Kerbal Space Program are the same we are familiar here with in reality, uh, the surface gravity of Kerbin is roughly the same as on Earth, yet the scale height of the atmosphere is a good bit low, about 5.6, 5.7 kilometers versus about 8.5 kilometers. So about 1.5 times as compressed, which means at the same surface gravity that the composition of the atmosphere is probably way different. There are a few other factors, but those are much more minor, so we can say for almost sure that the composition of Kerbin's atmosphere is very different from Earth's atmosphere. But not only the scale height and composition seems to be different. Now I've recently looked into a video of me again of a rocket submarine, which of course is already a piece of rather unrealistic physics, but that aside, it seemed to be going too fast. Now, at this screenshot, you can see it's going at about 80 meters per second, and it has a thrust weight ratio of about 8. And if you compare this to our common knowledge, rough experience about how Kerbal aerodynamics work and how this cockpit behaves and its terminal velocity on Kerbin, it seems that this is way too fast, and it seems that Kerbin's ocean doesn't seem to be very dense, but I think it's the other way around. I think Kerbin's ocean is actually sort of comparable to Earth's ocean. It's probably water, but Kerbin's atmosphere it is not just has not just a different composition and a different scale height, but it's probably overall much denser, uh, which also explains why the aerodynamic forces seem to be so strong. Kerbal's aerodynamics are very simplified and sort of unrealistic anyways, but we can still do a very rough estimate and a very rough comparison to what we would expect in reality. And overall, the aerodynamic forces in Kerbal Space Program seem to be very strong. You can build a kind of normal-looking airliner in Kerbal Space Program, and it can go at similar speeds as a real-life airliner, but with a much higher thrust-weight ratio. So, yeah, apparently Kerbin's atmosphere seems to be very dense, and this would also explain why atmospheric forces seem to be so strong, why the terminal velocity of a rather aerodynamic and compact design can be rather low, and why a small wing can provide a whole lot of lift. Which would then mean, of course, because Kerbal Space Program never actually gives any detailed information about atmosphere. What we only know is a comparison of the different celestial bodies' atmospheres, if they have some. Now, Duna's atmosphere 1/16th as dense as Kerbin's atmosphere at sea level, or in case of Duna, there is no sea level, the ground level defined for Duna. Now, since Kerbin's atmosphere seems to be about 10 times denser, roughly speaking, so there isn't much precise data on this because Kerbal's aerodynamics are unrealistic anyways, so comparing them to real world physics is always unprecise, but it seems to be roughly about 10 times denser at sea level than Earth's atmosphere, which means that in terms of surface altitude, atmospheric density, and probably pressure as well, Duna's atmosphere is actually more similar to Earth's atmosphere than Kerbin. So, in conclusion, while Duna still doesn't seem like a very nice place to live, in terms of atmosphere, it actually seems to be more Earth-like than Kerbin. So that's just a little fun fact I thought up, and that might be completely wrong, but it kind of seems to make sense to me, and I thought I'd make a short video, or by now slightly longer video about it, just to gain a little more experience in talking to a microphone and talking to you. Also, in terms of theorizing and explaining, you can leave me feedback if you want, in terms of sound quality and talking too, but also if I should go deeper into subject or less deep, if I should explain more basics first, or if I should go more straight right in. Uh, Anything, just leave any feedback you'd like. So, thanks for watching.